Shalom class, I hope I find you well. My name is Innocent MAPANDA. Thank you for tuning in to your favorite channel. In today's lesson, we are going to be focusing on June 2023, paper 2, SIMSEC. We are going to start with the first question. It reads, a curve has parametric equations. X is equals to 2 plus 5 cos theta. Y is equals to 3 plus 5 sin theta. Find the Cartesian equation of the curve 2 marks, right? So to find the Cartesian equation of the curve given parametric equations in trig form, you need to understand this identity. Sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is identical to 1. So you simply make cos theta the subject of the formula in the first parametric equation. Remember, you are given x is equals to 2 plus 5 cos theta, something like this. Moving 2 to the left, you get x minus 2 is equals to 5 cos theta. Then you divide both sides by 5 so as to make cos theta the subject of the formula. You get x minus 2 all over to 5 is equals to cos theta. I hope you are following. We want to do the same for sine. You are given y, right, is equals to 3 plus 5 sine theta. Let us move 3 to the left. You get y minus 3 is equals to 5 sine theta. Then divide both sides by 5. 5 and 5, they cancel off each other. You get y minus 3 over 5 is equals to sine theta. I hope you are listening, class. So let us plug these two results, right, in our identity above. On this one, we are going to put y minus 3 over 5 on sine squared theta. You get y minus 3 over 5, all raised to the power of 2. This is sine squared theta. Then on cos squared theta, you put x minus 2 over 5. So you get x minus 2 all over to 5, all raised to the power of 2. Then equate these 2 to 1. I hope you are following. So the power 2 is going to affect both the numerator and the denominator. If you raise y minus 3 to the power of 2, you get y minus 3 squared divided by 5 to the power of 2, it gives you 25. Then here you get x minus 2 squared divided by 25 is equals to 1. Taking 25 as our LCM, we are going to multiply each and every term both sides by 25. It gives you y minus 3 squared plus x minus 2 squared is equals to 25, multiplying each and every term by 25. I hope you are following. So starting with the second bracket, you get x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equals to 25. And this is the Cartesian equation of the curve. Let us move on to the second part of the question. Describe fully in geometrical terms the type of equation the curve represents 3 marks. So if you look at this curve is in the form x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equals to r squared, which represent the form of a circle. I hope you are following. So to describe fully, you are saying the equation represents right, a circle Then to get the full marks, you need to state the radius of the circle as well as the center of the circle. So the radius is the square root of 25. So square root of 25, you get 5. Then as for center, if you have x minus a squared plus y minus b squared, remember the center is a and b. You simply change the sign of the number inside the bracket. So here we have minus 2. It means the x coordinate becomes positive 2. Here we have minus 3. The y coordinate becomes 3. And this is your final result. So the mark allocation will be as follows. Setting that it represents the circle, you have the radius, and you have the center for you to get the 3 marks. Right, we are now on question number 2. It reads, the expression ax cubed plus x squared minus bx minus 6 is divisible by x minus 2 and 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Find the values of a and b, 2 marks. Right, so for this one, you can notice that if this expression is divisible by x minus 2 and 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 without leaving a remainder, it means x minus 2 is a factor, right? 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 is also a factor. But in 2x squared plus 5x plus 3, you can extract 2 factors from that quadratic. I hope you are following, class. Right. So what you need to do, you multiply the given factors. We can make use of the vertical approach. 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. We want to multiply it with x minus 2 using the vertical approach. Right, so you are saying x times 2x squared, you get 2x cubed. Then x times 5x, you get 5x squared. Then x times 3, it gives you 3x. I hope you are following. Now multiplying with minus 2. Minus 2 times 2x squared, you get minus 4x squared. So minus 4x squared must be aligned with 5x squared since they are like terms. Then minus 2 times 5x, you get minus 10x. Minus 2 times 3, you get minus 6, something like this. Then you add the like terms vertically. 2x cubed is going to come as it is. Then 5x squared minus 4x squared, you get x squared. Then 3 minus 10x, you get minus 7x. Then minus 6 is going to come as it is. So you can clearly notice that since the expression given is ax cubed, right, plus x squared, right, minus b x minus 6, equating the coefficient or the coefficients of x cubed, you can notice that the coefficient of x cubed in the expanded expression is 2, and we have a here. I hope you are following. So in simple terms, we are saying a is equals to 2. Then the coefficient of x in the expanded expression is minus 7, and the coefficient of x is minus b. You can notice that 7 is equals to b. So these are the answers. I hope you are following. Let us move on to the next part of the question. When the values of a and b have the values found in a above, solve the equation ax cubed plus x squared minus bx minus 6 is equals to 0. So to solve the equation, you will start by factorizing this quadratic so that it produces 2 factors. So I am going to factorize 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 first. You are saying first term times last term. So 2x squared times 3, it gives you 6x squared. Then you are now looking for 2 factors of 6, which gives you a sum of, or a difference of 5. I hope you are listening. So the numbers are 2 and 3. 2 plus 3, you get 5. Then 2 times 3, it gives you 6. Right? So this 2 is going to be represented as 2x. 3 is going to be represented as 3x. We are now factorizing by grouping, whereby you say 2x squared plus 2x plus 3x here plus 3. Then you factorize the first two terms. Highest common factor is 2x. It gives you 2x into 2x squared, you get x. 2x into 2x, you get 1. Then here you are going to factor out 3. 3 into 3x, you get x. 3 into 3, you get 1. Something like this. So the two brackets are x plus 1, the common factor, and 2x plus 3. Right. Now that we have factorized the quadratic, let us connect this quadratic to the given factor, which is x minus 2, to form the equation. You are now saying x minus 2, x plus 1, 2x plus 3, which is the complete function, must be equivalent to 0. So this bracket is going to give us the solution, x is equals to 2. Then this bracket is going to give us the solution, x is equals to minus 1. And this bracket is going to give us the solution, x is equals to minus 3 over 2. So this is how you solve it. Let us move on to part C of the question. Solve the inequality ax cubed plus x squared minus bx minus 6 is less than 0 using the values of a and b in part A above, 2 marks. Right, so here we are going to use the roots of the equation to act as the critical values. The smallest number here is minus 3 over 2, followed by minus 1, and we also have positive 2, something like this. Right, so you can notice that we are going to have 4 regions. This region is x is greater than 2. It takes the values which are more than 2. This one is minus 1 less than x less than 2, minus 3 over 2 less than x less than minus 1, and this one is x is less than minus 3 over 2. So I want to test one of the 4 regions. If you test one of the 4 regions, you will be able to tell the other regions. I hope you are following. So let me use this one, which contains 0. Between minus 1 and 2, there is 0. I am going to put 0 in this factorized expression to check whether the result is going to be less than 0. Remember, the inequality is f of x is less than 0. So we want to test whether this region is going to be true. If we put 0 on x, are we going to have a negative value which is less than 0? I hope you are following. So putting 0 on x in the first bracket, you get minus 2. If we put 0 here, you get 1. If you put 0 in the third bracket, 2x becomes 0. You'll be left out with the 3. So minus 2 times 1 times 3, it gives you minus 6, of which minus 6 is supporting the required inequality less than 0. It means this region is true. So I'm going to tick it like this. I hope you are following. So the issue now is the neighbors of that region are going to be false. If this region is true, the neighbors of that region are going to be false. So it means I'm going to reject this, I'm going to reject this, then you accept this. So there is a pattern that comes out on this number line. It's either you reject, you accept, you reject, you accept, or you accept, you reject, you accept, you reject. So there is no situation whereby you have adjacent inequalities being accepted or adjacent inequalities being rejected. I hope you are following. There is a pattern like this, whereby if this region is accepted, the neighbors are going to be rejected. If this region is rejected, the neighbors are going to be accepted. I hope you are following. So our answer is going to be x is less than minus 3 over 2, which is the region on our far left. Then you say union, right? Minus 1 less than x less than 2. Then this is your final result. I hope you are following, class. Right. Let us move on to the next question. It reads, circles with the centers A and B have equations x squared plus y minus 5 over 2 squared is equals to 37 over 4, and x minus half squared plus y plus half squared is equals to 13 over 2 respectively. State the coordinates of A and the coordinates of B. So like what we mentioned earlier on in the first part of the question, if you have the equation of a circle in this form, x minus a squared plus y minus b squared, your center is going to become AB. You simply change the sign of the number inside the bracket. I hope you are listening, class. Right. So here, if you have x squared, it means the x coordinate is 0. Then this negative 5 over 2 is going to become a positive 5 over 2. So the coordinate of A is 0 and 5 over 2. Then if we move on to the second circle, you can notice that we have a negative half. It gives us a positive half. Then this positive half, it gives us a negative half. So you simply change the numbers inside the bracket from negative to positive, or from positive to negative. I hope you are following, class. Then to find radius, if radius is asked, you simply put square root on the number on your right side. All right, we move on to part B of the question. Find the equation of line AB in the form AY plus BX plus C is equals to 0. So to find the equation of the line, let me use this form. Y minus bar y is equals to M open bracket x minus bar x. So bar y and bar x can be any point between A and B. In simple terms, you can say let bar x and bar y be 0 and 5 over 2. I have chosen the point A to represent bar x and bar y. Even if you choose B, half and minus half, to be bar x and bar y, you still get the same answer or the same result. Right. What is M? M denotes the gradient of the line, which is found by the formula y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So on 0, you have x1, 5 over 2, y1. Then this half is our x2, minus half is our y2. Let us substitute this in the gradient formula. Y2, you get minus half, right? Then you put a negative sign. Y1 is 5 over 2. So you divide this with 5 over 2. I hope you are following. What is x2? X2 is half. Then you put a negative, and x1 is 0. So since we have got a common denominator on the numerator, minus 1 over 2 minus 5 over 2, it gives you minus 6 over 2, which is good as minus 3. Then half minus 0, you get half. So you are dividing minus 3 with half. So you simply multiply minus 3 with the reciprocal of the denominator to get your result. So it's minus 3 dot product 2, and your answer is minus 6, representing the gradient. I hope you are following, class. Right, let us substitute this in this formula, y minus bar y is equals to m, open bracket, x minus bar x. You get y minus, our bar y is being denoted by 5 over 2. So we are going to write 5 over 2 here is equals to m. M is minus 6, remember? So you put minus 6 on m, open bracket, x minus bar x, our bar x is 0, something like this. So here you are going to remove the bracket on the right side. You get y minus 5 over 2 is equals to minus 6x. Then minus 6 times 0, you get 0. Right, remember they want you to express your answer in the form ay, right, plus bx, right, plus c is equals to 0, where a and b are integers or integral values. So to achieve this, you can make use of 2 as your LCM and multiply each and every term both sides by 2. So 2 times y, you get 2y. Then 2 times minus 5 over 2, you get minus 5. Then 2 times minus 6x, you get minus 12x. Move minus 12x to the left so that you remain with the 0 on the right side. You get 2y, right, plus 12x, right, minus 5 is equals to 0. And this is your final answer. I hope you are following. Now moving on to part C of the question. Hence or otherwise, find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of the line segment AB in the form y is equals to mx plus c 4 marks. Right, what is a perpendicular bisector of AB? Remember, AB is a line. Right, A has coordinates 0 and 5 over 2. Then B has coordinates half and minus half. Something like this. I hope you are following, class. Right. So a perpendicular bisector is a line which divides AB into 2 equal parts in such a way that the line is going to pass through the midpoint of AB. The distance from A to the line is equal to the distance from B to the line. This is the perpendicular bisector required. Right. Remember, in the topic of coordinate geometry, there is a relationship between tangent, gradient of tangent, and gradient of normal. Right. Remember, if you have a curve, something like this, and this line touches one point on the curve, we refer to this as tangent. But another line which forms 90 degrees with the tangent, we refer to it as the normal. Gradient of the normal times gradient of the tangent, they give you a result which is minus 1. I hope you are following. So in simple terms, we are saying gradient of AB, which is times gradient of L, which is the black line, you must get -1 since the two lines are perpendicular to each other. Gradient of AB was obtained in the part B of the question. We got it as -6. So we are saying -6 times L is equals to -1. To find the gradient of L, which is ML, to find ML, you divide by -6. So ML is going to give you 1 over 6. So I'm going to use 1 over 6. I hope you are following. Right. But I need to find the midpoint, right, which gives me the point lying on the required line. So the midpoint of AB is found by the formula x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2, something like this. So the x value of A is 0. The x value of B is half. Divide this by 2. The y value of A is 5 over 2, right? And the y value of B is minus half. Then you divide this by 2, right? So if I divide 0 plus half, it's half. Half divided by 2, you get 1/4. Right? Then plus and minus, they give you a minus. So you are simply saying 5 over 2 minus 1 over 2. Since they have a common denominator 2, you are saying 5 minus 1, you get 4. So 4 over 2 divided by 2, it means you get 2 on the numerator. Then you divide this 2 with this denominator 2, it means you get 1, something like this, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write y minus bar y is equals to m, open bracket, x minus bar x. But my answer, I'm going to present it by making y the subject of the formula, since they want you to give your answer in the form y is equals to mx plus c. This 1/4 here is going to represent your bar x. This one is going to represent your bar y. I hope you are following, class. Let us substitute. You get y minus 1, where 1 is your bar y, is equals to, remember, m is now 1 over 6, which is the gradient of the perpendicular bisector, is equals to x minus bar x is 1/4, so you put 1/4 here, something like this. Removing the bracket, you get y minus 1 is equals to 1 over 6x, right? Minus 1 over 24. Because we are saying 1 times 1, you get 1. 6 times 4, you get 24. Then making y the subject, you are now moving 1 to the right side. Y is equals to 1 over 6x plus 1 minus 1 over 24. Remember this negative 1, if it is moved to the right, you get plus 1. So plus 1 is good as 24 over 24. So 24 over 24 minus 1 over 24, you get 23 over 24. Meaning to say your answer is y is equals to 1 over 6x plus 23 over 24 in the required form. Then you are home and try. I hope you are following. We are now moving on to question number 4. It reads, a hollow circular cylinder open at one end, right? Here's a height h centimeters and radius r centimeters. So if we do a visual sketch here of the cylinder, it is going to produce something like this. You have the top of the cylinder, then you have the bottom of the cylinder, which is also a circle, right? So they are saying this top of the cylinder is what is open, but the bottom of the cylinder is closed, right? Then the height of the cylinder is h centimeters, radius is r. So this is the cylinder. Then the bottom of the cylinder is what? Is closed, right? The cylinder has a total external surface area of 1,200 square centimeters, right? So this question, when I went through this question, I noticed that there is a missing pi on 1,200. Zimsek left pi here. It should be 1,200 pi square centimeters, not 1,200 square centimeters, but 1,200 pi square centimeters is the area, right? You see, when I'm going to work, that there was a pi which was left out in this question. Let us proceed. Show that h is equals to 600 over r minus r over 2, 6 marks, right? So here I'm going to find the total surface area of this cylinder first, then equate it to 1,200 pi. The total surface area is going to be made up of two surfaces, which is the bottom cylinder, which is closed. So bottom cylinder is a circle. The area of a circle is pi r squared. But the pi r squared above is going to be ignored since the cylinder is open at the top. It means there is no surface at the top. We only have the circle at the bottom, which is closed, and the first surface is pi r squared. Then the second surface that we have is the curved surface area of the cylinder, and the curved surface area is the right round of the cylinder, which is found by the formula circumference of the cylinder times the height of the cylinder. So you all know that circumference of the cylinder is 2 pi r, right? you multiply 2 pi r with h, right? So it means the curved surface area becomes 2 pi r h, something like this. Equate this to the given total surface area of 1200 pi. Then you make h the subject of the formula as per requirement of the question. So this is achieved by moving pi r squared to the right side first. You get 2 pi r h is equals to 1200 pi minus pi r squared. Then divide both sides with the 2 pi r. To make h the subject of the formula, you divide both sides with 2 pi r. I hope you are following. So 2 pi r and 2 pi r, they cancel off each other, leaving you with h on your left. Then 2 into 1.2, you get 600. Pi and pi, they cancel off each other, so you'll be having r below. Then here, pi is going to cancel out with pi. Then r into r squared, you get r. So you'll be having r over 2. And if you check with the question, this is their requirement. So you can now agree that there is a missing pi on 1200 for the show that to be complete. We move on to part B. Express the volume of the cylinder V, right, in terms of R, right? So volume of cylinder is found using the formula cross sectional area of the cylinder times the length of the cylinder. So the cross-sectional area of the cylinder is a circle, right? Which is written as pi r squared. Then the length, they gave us h, which is the height of the cylinder. So volume is goes to pi r squared h, right? We are now utilizing the value of h here that we got in part A and plug it here so that we express the volume in terms of r as per requirement of the question. So you get V is equals to pi r squared, open bracket, 600 over r minus r over 2, which is the value of h in part A, now being substituted on h. I hope you are following. Expanding this, you get r into r squared, you get r. So you get 600 pi r. Then pi r squared times minus r over 2, you get minus pi r cubed over 2. Then you are home and dry. Then we move on to part C of the question. Find the value of r for which V is a stationary point. Whenever you hear the word stationary, stationary is a turning point, or stationary, they represent maximum, minimum value, turning point. I hope you are following. To find this, you find it when dy dx is equals to 0. But in this case, our y is v and our x is r. So I'm going to find the stationary value when dv over dr is equals to 0. I hope you are following. So let me find dv over dr first. I want you to notice something. When finding derivative, let's say you are given y is equals to 9x, something like this, and they want you to find dy dx, you simply take 9 as your answer. Why? Because you are multiplying 1 with 9, you get 9. Then you less 1 with 1, you get 0. Any number to the power of 0 is 1. So if you are given y is equals to 20x and they want you to find dy dx, your answer is what? Is simply 20. I hope you are following. So same applies. 600 pi is just a number like 20, but our variable is r. So it means derivative of 600 pi r, you get 600 pi. Like on 20x, you get 20. On 9x, you get 9. So on 600 pi r, you get 600 pi, where 600 pi is just a number like 20, and r is a letter like x, or a variable like x. Then we move on to this one. It's more of minus pi over 2 dot product r to the power of 3. Then you are saying 3 times minus pi over 2, you get minus 3 pi over 2 dot product. Then you less this 3 with 1, you remain with r squared. So my answer here is minus 3 pi over 2 r squared. I hope you are following. So the value, which is stationary point, is going to be obtained when this derivative is equivalent to 0. So you equate these two to 0. Now moving 3 over 2 pi to the left, you get, let me express 3 over 2 as 1,5. So you get positive 1,5 pi r squared. Remember, 3 over 2 is good as 1,5, but it is a positive. Why? Because we have moved this negative to the right side. So to make r the subject, you divide by 1,5 pi both sides. Get r squared is equals to 400. Pi and pi, they cancel off each other. Right, so to get the value of r, which is the stationary value, put square root both sides. Square root of 400 is 20. Square root of r squared is r. And this is your final result. I hope you are following, class. Then they want you to find the stationary value. Find the stationary value, 2 marks. So the stationary value is the value of volume at which r is stationary. I hope you are following. So I'm going to plug 20 in the expression of volume. Remember, the expression of volume, we got V is equals to 600 pi r minus pi r cubed over 2. This is the volume expression that we got in part B. So on r, I'm going to put 20. You get V is equals to 600 pi. Then you put 20 on r minus pi, open bracket, 20 cubed over 2. So what is 600 times 20? You get 12,000. So V is equals to 12,000 pi. Then 20 cubed divided by 2, you get 4,000. So you are saying minus 4,000 pi. It means the stationary value is 8,000 pi, something like this. Then you are warm and dry. We move on to part D of the question. It reads, determine the nature of the stationary point. So to determine the nature of the stationary point, you carry out what you call the second derivative. Right, so you are saying d squared V over the r squared, this is what we call the second derivative, is equals to, right? Remember, after carrying out the first derivative, which is dv over dr, we got 600 pi minus 3 pi over 2 r squared. So we now want to find the derivative of the first derivative. So 600 is a constant term. Derivative of any constant term is 0. So on this one, we have 0. Then on this one, you are saying minus 3 pi over 2. This one is going to be multiplied by this power 2. Then you less this power 2 with 1. Something like this. It gives you minus 3 pi. Since 2 and 2, they cancel off each other. Then you get r. Since 2 minus 1, it's 1. R to the power of 1 is good as r. So this is the second derivative. Right. So if the second derivative is greater than 0, we refer to this as minimum. But if the second derivative is less than 0, we refer to this as maximum. Right. So this one is going to be a number which is less than 0. Why? The value of r is a radius. Radius is a dimension, or radius denotes length, which is always positive. So it means minus 3 pi times any value of radius, we are going to get a negative result, which is less than 0. Therefore, since the second derivative is less than 0, this is a maximum value. So this is your final result. Right, we are now on question number 5. It reads, express in partial fractions x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3 all over 2 x plus 2x minus 3. So for this one, you need to carry out long division first. I hope you are following. There is a mistake that majority of students normally do. Here you are lucky because you are given the denominator expanded already. So it means you know that long division must be carried out first. But these questions, they normally comes as this. Plus 3 here. And x minus 1, something like this. So the first part of the question was supposed to come as x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3 over x plus 3, x minus 1, and they ask you to partialize it. So you can notice that majority, or more than 50% of the candidates, they tend to rush to formulate the identity of the partial using the linear factors a over x plus 3 plus b over x minus 1, which is very wrong. You don't start by formulating the identity when approaching a partial fraction, but you need to compare the highest power of the numerator with the highest power of the denominator. If the powers are equal, or if the power of the numerator is greater than the power of the denominator, it means you need to carry out long division first before formulating the identity. So in this case, they gave you the denominator expanded already. So it means it was easy to pick that long division must be carried out first. I hope you are following. We are going to say x squared plus 2x minus 3 is going to divide x cubed plus 4x squared. So since there is a missing term in x, let me represent it with 0x here, plus 3. This is very important, especially in aligning the like terms. You know, from x squared, you move on to a term in x, but there is no term in x. We can represent it as 0x, so that we have a perfect alignment of like terms when carrying out this long division. This first term of the divisor is going to divide the first term of dividend. You are saying x squared, right, into x cubed, you get x, right? Then multiply all these terms with this x, you get x cubed. Then x times 2x, it gives you 2x squared. I hope you are listening. Then x times minus 3, you get minus 3x. So I'm now lessing. Here you get 0. Then minus and plus, they give you minus. So 4x squared minus 2x squared, you get 2x squared. Then minus and minus, they give you a plus. So here you will be left out with plus 3x, since we have got a 0 on the top. Then this one, let me bring it down. Let me bring this 3 down. Right. You can notice that x squared, right, can enter into 2x squared. So the process must continue. X squared into 2x squared, it gives you 2. You write 2. Then you take this 2 to multiply all the terms on the divisor. You get 2x squared plus 4x minus 6. I hope you are following. So 2x squared minus 2x squared, you get 0. 3 minus 4x, you get minus x. Minus and minus, you get plus. 3 plus 6, it gives you 9. Since x squared can no longer enter into minus x, it means this is the final stage where minus x plus 9 is representing our remainder. I hope you are following. So we are simply saying, firstly, if x squared plus 2x minus 3 enters into the function above, you get x plus 2, which is the answer above the long division. But there is a remainder, which is minus x plus 9, which can be written as 9 minus x. So I'm going to say plus the remainder, 9 minus x, all over 2 x squared plus 2x minus 3. Something like this. I hope you are following. Right. So the process is not yet over. I'm now partializing 9 minus x over x squared plus 2x minus 3. The answer that I'm going to get, I'm going to add it with the x plus 2 to complete the partial fraction. Right? So remember, by factorizing x squared plus 2x, when I explained earlier on, x squared plus 2x, it gives you x plus 3, x minus 1. So I'm going to put here x plus 3 and x minus 1. Then you use the linear factor concept. A over x plus 3 plus b over x minus 1, something like this. You get a times this, it's x minus 1 plus b times this, x plus 3, is identical to 9 minus x, something like this. I hope you are following, class. Right, so to eliminate b, we eliminate b using x is equals to minus 3. If x is equals to minus 3, it means the bracket of b becomes 0 for you to find a. So you get a is equals to minus 3 minus 1 is equals to 9 minus, then on x you put minus 3. It means 9 minus minus 3, you get 12. So you get minus 4a is equals to 12. Then divide both sides by minus 4. Therefore, a is equals to minus 3. Then to find b, you eliminate the bracket of x using 1. So you are saying when x is equals to 1, the bracket of a becomes 0, so as to find b. So you'll be having b, open bracket, 1 plus 3, putting 1 on x is equals to 9 minus 1. You get 4b here is equals to 8. Then divide both sides by 4. Therefore, b is equals to 2. Right. So it means our final answer in partial fraction, you get x plus 2, right, which was the answer that we got after carrying out long division, to be added with the partial fraction of this fraction 9 minus x over this. So you are going to put the value of a is minus 3. So if we put minus 3 on a, you get minus 3 over x plus 3. Then you put b was 2. So if you put b here, you get plus 2 over x minus 1. And this is your final answer in partial form. We are now moving on to the last part of the question, which is part B. Right, so it reads, hence or otherwise evaluate the exact. This is very important. Whenever you see the word exact, they are trying to say don't give your answer in form of decimal, but leave it in exact, either as a single log or as a set form, but don't express it as a decimal. So we are given the limits from 2 to 3, 4 marks. So they want you to integrate this. So for you to integrate, you use the result that we obtained in part A after expressing it in partial fractions. So you get something like this, right? So derivative. So integral of x, you get x squared over 2. Then integral of 2 is 2x minus, you have 3 on top, divided by derivative of x plus 3, which is 1. Then you put ln x plus 3, something like this. Then on this one, you have 2 on top. Then derivative of x minus 1 is 1. Then you put ln x minus 1. You close your bracket. So this is the integral, right? Then you are saying bracket, right, minus what? Minus bracket. In the first bracket, we are going to substitute 3 on x. In the second bracket, you substitute 2 on x. So putting 3 on x, this is 3 squared, which is good as 9. You get 9 over 2. Plus, if you put 3 on x, 3 times 2, it gives you 6. Minus 3 over 1 is 3. Ln 3 on x plus 3, you get ln 6. Something like this. Then 2 over 1 is 2. Ln 3 on x, 3 minus 1, you get 2. So this is the substitution of 3. Let us substitute with the 2. 2 squared, you get 4. Divided by 2, you get 2 here. Then putting 2 on 2x, you get 4 minus 3. Ln 2 plus 3, you get 5. Then if you put 2 on x, you get plus 2 ln 1. But this is going to become 0 since ln 1 is 0, right? So 9 over 2 plus 6, what you get? 21 over 2. So we are saying minus ln, you can move this 3 on top of 6. So 6 to the power of 3, you get 216 plus ln 4. If you put this 2 on top of 2, remember the number before the log denotes a power. Right here, you are saying 2 plus 4, you get 6, right? But this 6 is going to be multiplied by this negative. So you get minus 6. Then minus and minus, you get plus. If you put 3 on 5, you get 5 to the power of 3, which is 125. So it's plus ln 125. But this one, you can ignore it since ln 1 is good as 0. I hope you are following. So 21 over 2 minus 6 are like terms. 21 over 2 minus 6, you get 4.5, which is good as 9 over 2, right? Then I'm going to express these 3 logs as a single log. You start by writing the positive logs. So ln 125 plus ln 4 minus ln 216. Then you say 9 over 2 plus ln, then you put open bracket. So remember, if you have a plus, it means you connect 125 with 4 through the process of multiplication. But on this one, you have got a negative. So it means 125 by 4 are going to be divided by 216. So 125 times 4 divided by 216, you get 125 over 54. So your final answer is 9 over 2 plus ln 125 over 54. And this is your final result. Thank you for your time, guys. Till we meet again. Shalom.